We've got to have faith in the decisions our coach makes. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, his decisions have been right. It's wild card week. The Eagles are pushing forward to continue to defend their Super Bowl championship. We got Sixers. How'd they lose last night? The Phillies had a bench coach. Is that the difference? The changing this all around? Trending in the AM. We're back in action live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network, live on YouTube and Twitter, as we are every morning. Please, we're back. We're live. We're back. Vacation is over. Do me that favor. Make up for the fact that I took basically a week off of live shows. Hit that like button for me, please. Hit the subscribe button. Share it out, please. It's free to do. It does not cost you a thing to support your local content creators or local channels. All you got to do is click like, share, subscribe. Starting this week off at 955 subscribers. Can this be the 1,000 week? It's going to be a hard push, but I'm going to put an effort in there to get there, guys. I greatly appreciate it. I'm Phil Stiefel, and we got lots on tap today. Lots on tap this week as the playoffs are here. The Eagles' march to defend their Super Bowl championship is upon us, and we got lots to cover with it, but we still got to recap how we got here, because there could be a very different path forward in the playoffs if a certain different decision would have been made. Before that, after you like, subscribe, please vote on our poll question of the day. In hindsight, are you still glad Nick Sirianni rested his starters, obviously on Sunday? Your options are yes, still the right call. No, could have won the 2 seed. It's going to be a very close vote, I think, early. I'm pretty sure I could sway the vote my way, which is yes, still the right call. Because let's get into it. And there's lots of comments. I'm going to read off all these comments in just a second here. But I still firmly believe that resting the starters was the right call. Why? Because, as Nick Sirianni says, you can control rest. You cannot control the outcome of a game. The Eagles are a better team when well rested. The Eagles have been banged up all year long. Getting these guys healthy was way more important than maybe getting the 2 seed. Yeah, the Bears collapse. That tells me more about not being scared about the Bears in the playoffs than it does the Eagles. I look back at that game on Sunday. I see Grant Calcaterra get injured. Could you imagine the outrage if Calcaterra or Goddard got hurt in that situation on a hip drop tackle? The Eagles made the right decision. And the point of all this is, why do we doubt Nick Sirianni so much? Nick Sirianni is the winningest coach in Eagles history. Nick Sirianni has won a Super Bowl. He's taken us to 2 Super Bowls, won the division 3 times, not missed the playoffs in his 5 years here. And we still doubt him? We still doubt him regularly on the decisions he makes. Why? Because he hired Kevin Patullo? Is that the only reason we doubt Nick Sirianni? So early on, we are at 55-45, yes, no, on the poll question. Good morning, Nick Tash. Well, thank you. It's about time my brother did something to help the channel out. You won't be disappointed. Good morning, Duck. I agree. Resting the stars was the correct call. History has shown we are better with more rest. Absolutely. It's not like the 49ers are a scary team. It's not like any team in the NFL is scary at this point. Trot Jr. seemed to really learn position well, has played much better. Yeah, I can see that. Feel a sneeze coming on here. Sorry. It's not, it's coming. Oh, that was rough. That hurt. That one there. Ty Robinson not playing. Yeah, Ty Robinson didn't even play that much in in Sunday's situation. What's up, AK? How you doing? Hope you had a great New Year. Muchas gracias, Steve. Yeah, vacation was fantastic. Glad to be back behind the mic, though. How about Hunt leading the team in sacks and interceptions? The stats I can give you on Jalen Hunt's season, not just in the Eagles rankings, but overall. I mean, 8th among all edge rushers on third down pressure rate in the NFL. 8th. He's still just 24 years old. Hunt just keeps getting better. I'll call it that I almost think that Jalen Hunt's becoming a more important part of this defense than Nolan Smith. Boneheaded call. I disagree with you, Jim, and I know me and you have texted back and forth about this. I totally disagree with you. It was the right call. Eagles losing Sunday says, whatever. I can't read all those letters. Whatever. I disagree. The Eagles are not going to lose to the 49ers on Sunday. Eagles coaching staff suck on offense, and they have been bad. But we've got one of, if not the best defense in football in a playoff run. Just think about this. Offense sucks. But name the top 5 teams in the playoffs right now. Odds-wise. 4 of the 5, all elite defenses. To me, it isn't even about the 2 seed. It's the fact that the offense has been so dysfunctional all year. Rest, to me, wasn't an option. If you want to repeat playing and getting things right is more important. And I think that's a fair point. But then you look at Grant Calcaterra getting hurt. Were you willing to risk your players getting injured? Risk your players getting injured. Just to not, if you haven't gotten it right offensively, AK, in 17 weeks, why would week 18 make a difference? We have to come to the fact and understand that this team is what it is. They're going to win on the backs of their defense this year. Plain and simple. Needs to rest the coaches because they stink, except Fangio. I get it. The offense has been frustrating this year. Beyond belief. Borderline awful based off of our standards and the players. We will see how it goes. It's fly, Eagles fly, no matter what. Of course it's fly, Eagles fly, no matter what. And if they lose, we're going to have some very difficult decisions next week to have. But my confidence level is still very high because I have faith in Nick Sirianni. And even if it backfires and we lose, it's not going to mean I lose faith in Nick Sirianni. The thing is, outside of choosing Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni has been the greatest coach in Eagles history. We should have faith in what he does. The Eagles suck. No shot on Sunday. The coaching staff holding team back. I'm not sure if you're an Eagles fan or not. Like, I feel your frustration. I don't know if you're trolling because you're a Niners fan, but I kind of feel like you're an Eagles fan that's just frustrated. And I get it. But they're still the defending champs. They are till they're not. And I'm going to support them that way. Patullo took defeat out of the mouth of victory. Literally could have kept running Tank. I mean, did Tank not even touch the ball in the fourth quarter? I mean, I watched the game, but I was watching on Stream East because I didn't get the channel down in Orlando. So a lot of freezing going on the screens that I was cheating watching it on. But yeah. 49ers suck at the run. Give it to Tank. Saquon hurts all day. Maybe Patullo will miss the team bus. Maybe. I doubt it. But again, it's something as simple as the run, right? Tank Bigsby running all over, and he goes away from it in the fourth quarter when it matters most. I mean, was there any reason Tanner McKee had to throw for over 40 times on Sunday? That's just bad offensive play calling. I'm not denying how bad Kevin Patullo is in any of my arguments. Not at all. Not denying he's been bad. but I'm going to have faith in the overall leadership of Nick Sirianni to keep the team. The offense might stink, but I'm going to trust Nick Sirianni because of the overall picture and how he keeps the overall picture together. You want the rest of the defense. I get it. They deserve it. They proved their worth. The offense needed the. What's one more week going to do? And the offensive line needed rest more than anything else. Getting Landon. Brett Toth got hurt. What if that was Landon Dickerson, AK? Calcaterra got hurt. What about Dallas Goedert? Would we be singing a different tune this week if he played his starters and they were the guys that got hurt? Just saying. And we didn't really rest the starters. Jordan Davis still played 50% of the snaps. Moro Joma, we just rested the secondary and Zach Vaughn and Jalen Carter. No shot Sunday with the coach and staff. They only going to put up 14 points and get blown out. I don't see our defense getting blown out level of points. I'll say that. That I won't say. That I won't agree with. But I can see the offense only putting up 20, 14, something like that. What's up, Ardem? Good morning. Bring on the 49ers. Still can't believe we won't get to play against a Mitchless Packers. Yeah, it's a shame. Worst coach in the NFL. We have no shot on Sunday. Kevin Patullo might be, not Nick Sirianni. I hope you're not saying. I'm back. Vacation over. Resting Phil was right. Was the right call. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You missed me, K1, for the last week, right? Sirianni, Nepo Buddy, is the reason we can't get our highly paid and talented offense going. But guess what? We're still in the playoffs. We're still sitting pretty to make a run. I was on IR. I feel like I'm on IR right now. Woke up with the sorest of throats known to man. Hope it's just like the change in going from Florida to here. Otherwise, I probably caught something on that goddamn plane ride home. 49ers going to blow out the Eagles. We have no offense. Well, the 49ers have no offense either. You got to remember that. And their defense stinks. We need Phil for the playoffs. I'm back, baby. I'll be live every morning. Sunday for the watch party. Fairway to Heaven, K1. Kicks off season 6 next week. Yes, there will be a watch party on Sunday. Of course there will be. Pitched initially, but I've heard quite a few knowledgeable Eagles fans argue the case for resting. I mean, I've been saying it since day one, rest the starters. I forget which reporter, I think it was Dumars, the guy from ABC, spoke to a bunch of players after the game on Sunday and said that they were all in favor of the added rest as well. Love seeing Tank, though. Really looked forward to his future. Hope he stays around. I believe he's under contract next year, too. Yeah. I do love the change of pace with Tank Bigsby. Absolutely. And hopefully they find a way to get him more involved in the offense in the playoffs and next year. Christmas on Clearwater Beach? I bet it was. I bet you that was awesome. 49ers offense is weak if you control CMC. Panthers could not put any points up. Look. I am not concerned about the 49ers team this week. CMC is the biggest concern, and he's had an up and down year. We'll shut down Brock Purdy with our secondary. They're missing 27 starters on defense, the 49ers. I'm not concerned. Now, I'll be concerned the following week, and we'll talk later in the week, in the playoffs. Bosa? What about Bosa? Yeah, injuries happen. Can't hide behind that. The Jags played theirs the whole game. They didn't need to. Many played in just in. Well, they still had a chance to one seat, the Jaguars. I'm taking the Niners, 14 points. 49ers going to blow out the Eagles. We have no offense. Well, our defense isn't going to give up more than 20, 21 points. Resting stars. What's up, Rick, by the way? Happy New Year to you. Resting our stars was 100% the right move. Chicago going to lose to Green Bay. I don't know about that. Maybe, maybe not. And Eagles will become the 2 seed anyway. That could happen. I just don't know if the Packers are healthy enough. Do they even have a quarterback? I don't know what the status of Jordan Love is. But yeah, he has chosen Nepo Buddy over the team and the fans. On the other side, choosing Nepo Buddy, Duck. I did a lot of thinking about this over the last week. Did he really choose his buddy? Or was he the best option of few available? When you win the Super Bowl, you get a late start in replacing coaches you lose. Who was left? Who was left out there when we chose Kevin Patullo to even do any better? He went with what he knew and his buddy. over the unknown. 49ers playing their worst football right now, and they're injured. I agree with you. It'll be a much easier game than it should be, in my opinion. Tank didn't touch the ball halfway through the third quarter. I know he didn't touch it in the fourth quarter. I got a lot of comments. I am so far behind on comments. We're 6 minutes behind on comments here. If anybody want easy, free money, better bet the under second half. That I agree with that 100%. The offense can't stink at this point. Playoff means you are playing the best of the league. But this year's so open right now. Is anybody the best in the league? No right or wrong answer. I agree. You know, continue working to be better. Rest of the guys falls. None of it matters until we see the results this week. None of it matters until this week. Yes, have a bazoo New Year. I wish everybody. I missed New Year's, but I hope everybody had a great and safe and fun New Year's. Kicks off. We're so close, K1, to the new season. The art of war. A rested army is central to the principle that a general should strive while forcing the enemy into exhaustion and disarray. I love it. I love going to the art of war right there. I never actually read the art of war. Niners' best defender right now is Huff. Wow, that's no good. Seattle gave Vic the blueprint to stop CMC, and I'm sure Vic Fangio studied it, figured it out, and is rocking and rolling for this. Panthers host the crappy Rams at home. That'll be a boring game, right? I would assume the Rams will destroy the Panthers. At least that would be my best guess. Guys, make sure if you haven't yet, you like, you subscribe, you share. We're at 9:55, 45 away from that 1,000 mark, guys. Rams win easy on Panthers. Eagles best Niners. Green Bay, do we even need to have a game? I mean, unless Jordan Love is playing, you know, if the Eagles had no opportunity at the 2 seat, would everyone be so down? I feel way too much negativity, Big Al, coming off of Eagles Nation entering these playoffs. We're the defending Super Bowl champions, all right? We got the best or arguably one of the best defenses in football. We got the reigning Super Bowl MVP. Best hour Eagles football. Will we reach the Super Bowl? I don't know. But you know what? I don't feel an ounce of negativity entering this time. This team is ready to rock and roll. If you guys get owned, it's because Philly guy stinks. What? Given 49ers defense, do you expect a big game from Saquon? I expect them to try to give Saquon a big game. I expect them to try it. Will the offensive line be ready to roll? I don't know. We'll see what Lane Johnson looks like. We'll see what Cam Jurgens looks like. Yeah, I'm in preseason mode, I know. I took a week off. It's hard. Offense scoring 3 versus Seattle can't really be evaluated. They're not the same without Trent Williams. With Purcell and Trent Williams coming back, the offense will be different. That's fair. Do we know that? We don't know who's coming back for sure and not. We know that defensive guys aren't. They haven't officially announced much with Purcell and Trent Williams yet, to my knowledge. Only threat is Rams, but not by much, and Bears are the real threat. Look, I think the Bears are going to surprise some people. Do I trust them to go all the way to the Super Bowl? No, but I think they're going to beat the Packers on Sunday, or are they Saturday or Sunday? The only way the Eagles have a shot in the playoffs, we need to have Jelix run to open up the offense. Jelix? You want Jelix Hunt to run? What? Good morning, Adam. Thank you. Glad to be back. Patullo has never called plays in his whole career, and now he's the primary play caller. If that isn't malpractice hiring, it is. I get it. Who's your other option? Give me who else was available at that time. Jalen run to open up the offense. Oh, Jalen. Gotcha. It's like, Jelix, what? I know Jelix has been great on defense, but you want him running on offense too? Minimum of like 5 to 10 times. Yeah, they did not do that enough this year, and that is for sure. You don't hire someone who has never operated on a person as your head of surgery. Well, I mean, everybody needs their first chance to call plays. You just don't do it when they're defending Super Bowl champions, you mean. The Rams lost to Atlanta. I know, it's crazy. It really is crazy. The fact that there aren't more losses is purely on the defense. Yeah, I mean, look, since I think it's the last 9 weeks, last 9 or 10 weeks, The Eagles are the number 1 defense in football. They're number 3 overall defense in football. The Eagles defense, but what's wrong with that? Houston's carried by their defense. New England has a great offense too, but they got a great defense. The Broncos are carried by their defense. So Seattle carried by their defense. So many teams in this playoffs, the top teams, are carried by their defense. The offense needs to be better, needs to be more consistent and less than the 3 and outs. Absolutely. But at this point, this is going to be the 19th week of the NFL season. There's no changing it. They are who they are. I know we want more out of our offense. I do too. But let me tell you something. They are what they are. We're going to win on the backs of our defense. And that's okay. It's okay to be carried by your defense. I know the money sucks and the play calling sucks, all that stuff. But it's okay. Eagles and Pats are the only home favorites this week. That's hilarious, actually. I haven't even looked at the lines yet, Steve. I haven't even logged into my DraftKings account because I was traveling. I couldn't use it in Florida. So, yeah, I haven't even logged in to check the lines out. Jordan Love is pretty mid too, Phil. He is. I agree. But without him, the Packers stand no chance. If you lose, it's because the garbage coaches. We'll talk about that on Monday if they lose. What's up, Robert? Good morning. Happy New Year to you. Phil is a Disney adult. I am not a Disney adult. Did not step foot in Disney once on that vacation. Also, they almost had both options. They tried to eat their cake and eat it too. I think you said that wrong. I thought Mike McKee was. Oh, yeah, Tanner McKee really looked great. Exactly. What's up, the War Room podcast? This team gives the 15 Broncos. Team won the Super Bowl on an all-time defense. And that's okay, right? Does because they won on the backs of a great defense mean they didn't win the Super Bowl? No, they still won. The Ravens team that won with Trent Dilfer won on the back, whatever year that was, won on the backs of their defense. The Brad Johnson Buccaneers won on the backs of their defense. We got to the Super Bowl last year on the backs of our defense. There's nothing wrong. All year long, what's the identity of this team? The identity of this team is elite defense. That's okay. That's my opinion. Good comment. You can't beat these playoff teams by only playing half of a game. But our defense plays a whole game. The Broncos, with Peyton Manning, was carried by a defense to a Super Bowl, and nobody bats an eye. Exactly. Exactly, Marshawn. 100% agree. Can't believe Todd Bowles still has a job. You know what? Going through all the Black Friday or Black Monday coaching fires, I totally forgot. Like I wrote down, I was surprised that Zach Taylor stayed. I wrote down all the firings. I wrote down one that I was surprised. I'm going to write Todd Bowles' name on there too. Kind of forgot about Bowles right there on that one. Kind of shocked he still has a job as well, K1. We'll talk about Black Friday in a second, or Black Monday in a second. I don't want more out of our offense. I want them to be smarter. Our defense, we get gassed. They do get gassed. Todd Bowles is the Glenn Rivers of employment. Yeah, maybe. Where's Rick and Pump? Rick's been in the chat. I want them to answer, about Tanner McKee. Gotcha. Cam Jurgens has been awful in comparison to last year. I don't know how anyone can design a reliable offense being weak up the middle. 42nd out of 42. He's 42nd out of the top 42 snapped centers in the NFL this year. Literally the worst center in football this year. But playing our starters last week was going to fix that? I don't know. Is it Bowles' fault Baker is mid? I don't know. Baker is mid, but he's great. Baker's weird. How the F is Shane Steichen still employed? Look, I get it. I did just read right before the show, the new owner, the McShay's daughter, or what's his name? The daughter of the owner said that they are going to have a lot of pressure on them to succeed next year. What does that mean? I don't know. Him and the GM. But, yeah, he's still employed. Dolphins coach stinks. Yeah, he's still employed. How long do you think any defense will be able to hold up when you are playing additional 30% of snaps? Well, they've held up so far. So, Jets coaches, I asked my brother that yesterday while we were on the airport waiting to fly, why he's not on the list. I thought Aaron Glenn should have gotten fired. McDaniels is still employed, yeah. Glad Jonathan Gannon got fired. What he did to us, look, I ain't going to lie to you. There's a 1% chance that you see Jonathan Gannon back in Philly as an assistant. position coach. We're going to lose Christian Parker, which means whoever the assistant quarterback coach will get promoted. We're going to need an assistant coach, in a position like that. Gannon's got experience, and he's a Vic Fangio disciple. You might get a Jonathan Gannon reunion here at some point. Goes back to why we rest our stars. Defense gets gassed means even if they win, they will be beat up. Jordan Davis played a little too much for my liking. Peyton must be a good coach. Denver was balls, yeah. Cam is the only Pro Bowl in the offense line. Yeah, like that's still to me makes zero sense. Pete Carroll, yeah. All right, so yeah, hold on. What's to say? Laughed my ass off when that weasel Caddy got fired. Adam, yeah, absolutely. Guys, if we haven't yet, please like, subscribe, share. We greatly appreciate it. It's free to do, so do that. Yes, obviously yesterday was Black Monday in the NFL. Jonathan Gannon got fired by the Cardinals. Pete Carroll, the Raiders. Kevin Stefanski, the Browns. Raheem Morris, the Falcons. Added to Brian Dable, the Giants coach who was fired earlier this year, and Brian Callahan of Callahan Auto Parts, who got fired by the Titans earlier this year. They're your 6 job openings in the NFL right now. And I would say, is there a single one of those job openings that's actually, like, enticing? Like, all the coaches, like, you're talking about retreads and, like, bottom barrel first-timers that teams are looking at. Because if I was, like, a Kellen Moore like last year looking for my first job, what's there attractive about any of those jobs? They're all disaster organizations. I'd rather stay as an offensive coordinator than go to any of those teams. I wouldn't want to coach the Raiders. They've gone through 5 coaches in the last 6 years. I wouldn't want to take on Kyler Murray, Cam Ward. The Giants have pieces, but Giants ownership just gave a vote of confidence to Joe Schoen again. Like, I wouldn't want anything to do with that organization. Steichen is still employed because he showed all he needs is a decent quarterback. Yeah, and he had some injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. I'm not shocked that Steichen's still there. Ravens coach, yeah. Harbaugh and Tomlin both should be on the hot seat. That's Ben Johnson. Christian Parker will be a tough one. He will. I almost guarantee he gets a DC job somewhere. And if not, I think you could potentially lose. What's his name? Clint Hunt. I don't remember what his first name is. The D-line coach as well. One of those two guys, if not both, could get DC jobs next year, Marshawn, and there'll be big losses to this defense. I think most of the players with the injuries issues playing on Sunday, if they wasn't the point spread, would probably be more than 3.5. I can agree with you on that too. When the middle malfunctioned, it gums up the horizontal midsection. Yeah, absolutely. You're trying too hard with that, but it makes a lot of sense. All the 49ers players with injuries should be playing, if I had to guess. Offensively, maybe. But from what I read, the defensive guys might not be playing. You're going to be missing a couple defensive players, multiple linebackers, and whatnot. Rodgers to Super Bowl, not a chance. No chance that the Steelers get to the Super Bowl. What's with all the black sheep references? Did I make a black sheep reference? I don't even know if I did. What reference did I make that was black sheep? They just not naturally come out by accident there? Murray isn't staying in Arizona anyway. It's true. That's true. What's up? How we doing? I'm just glad to be back. I'm glad to be home. Glad to be behind the mic again. Enjoyed a week on vacation in Florida with my family, but glad to be back. Get back into the grind. I think Patullo will see the disaster coaching options and stay with us. Yeah, Patullo ain't going to get a job head coaching, Adam. But what he will do, I think he stays with us to keep that continuity. If we get blown out this week and the offense stinks, maybe he gets fired. But if we win this week, he's not going anywhere. The only job that is somewhat decent is in Atlanta. A lot of great pieces in a bad division does make Atlanta semi attractive, but I don't know. I mean, are you really excited to go coach Michael Penix, or Kirk Cousins? So I don't know. Browns coach should be. Yeah, there's already 3 reports of different teams putting in interview requests with him. Don't curse us like that. He should be canned even if we win the Super Bowl. He's going to be here. He's going to. Callahan Auto Parts. Yeah, Brian Callahan. That's not Black Sheep. That's Tommy Boy. Black Sheep is the political movie, okay? Good morning. What's up? How you doing? I hope you are well, Bucks fan. No. Yeah, Bucks fan, right? Yeah. Vote for Donley. What? Yeah, I'm surprised we added him to the list of why he didn't get fired coaches for sure. Yeah, he messed me up by saying black sheep. I forgot I made the Callahan auto parts joke there. I made it a few times. If voting kicks ass and voting for Phil kicks ass, then what are you talking about? Tommy Boy, yeah, Callahan auto parts. I think it's great. It's great. It was a great reference. We're better when we double team the tackles and move up to the second level. Dickerson has basically got more of that ability back. Pray 26 can make Cam's or whiffs miss, and then, yeah, exactly. Cam does need to win. I don't know if you can fix the Cam Jurgens situation right now. Yeah. I don't get half the movie references around here. But then you get mad when I don't get your references. If the Eagles lose in the first round, I definitely need to try to get a coach like Pete Carroll. To do what? To be where's Pete Carroll fit into this coaching ranks? He's not an offensive play caller. You're not firing Nick Sirianni. Phil, don't even know quotes from Black Sheep. It wasn't Black Sheep, though. It was Tommy Boy. Eagles just need to stick with the basics. Run, shortage, pass, long yards. Don't overcomplicate the offense. Stick to what suits you best. Eagles should be back in the Super Bowl. I am very, very confident that this Eagles team will get back to the Super Bowl. I really, really am. This Eagles team can win on the backs of their defense, and that's okay. We're at 13 likes on this video, despite 19 people voting on this. No new subscribers. Guys, couple new names in the chat. Make sure you're subscribing. Share this out. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers this week. Mr. Thundermaker here is going to start barking fire if y'all don't stop moving and listening to what this man Phil has to say. What? NFL gets better ratings with Chicago versus Packers in the playoffs. NFL is a business. In the words of Sean Carter, a.k.a. Jay-Z, you can't knock the hustle. Yeah, I guess. Bulls speak with Glazers. What? Bulls speak with Glazers week if fired or coming back. We don't know if he's coming back. So they haven't said they haven't given them a vote of confidence yet. Gotcha. Suffer, Bucks fan. Panthers host Rams. That sucks. Yeah, it's crazy. Eagles run the ball, short yardage. Don't overcomplicate the offense. Look, stick to what works. And that's the problem with the Eagles. They don't stick with what works on offense. It's been a recurring problem all year. What do I think of Don Mattingly becoming the coach, bench coach of the Phillies? We knew it was happening, Adam. We knew that was going to happen at some point this offseason. Will it help, woo Bo Bichette to come to Philly? Maybe. Maybe it gives, Rob Thompson the yin to his yang that he's wanted for all these years. Rob Thompson said he's wanted him for a while to be in Philadelphia. Does it move the needle for me? No. Unless Bo Bichette comes here, which I highly doubt. The Phillies are just setting up for another inconsistent average season. Win a lot of games, lose in the playoffs. They might not even win as many games right now if they don't bring anybody else on. Oh, Donley's from Black Sheep. Gotcha. I'm talking the 49ers with the points. Whatever the public go, always go the other way with sports betting. I will say I'm saving it for another day, but I did get my weekly ref stats. The officiating crew heavily favors the Eagles this week. Little note, little word to the wise, okay? If the line stays low, the officiating crew massively, I think I read 8-1 the Eagles are with this officiating crew in the last couple of years. Patullo keeps calling a ton of downfield plays when you need 1 yard for a first down. Well, because he doesn't trust the offensive line, maybe? I don't know. Only 45 away. Let's go. We're rallying. We're pumping out huge amount of content this week. I'm going to pump out so much content because I want to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark this week. 45 in 1 week would be a record for me. But let's get it done, okay? Still, I just hit 9:55 this morning before the show went live. Yeah, Pete Carroll's a 3-year program guy. Yeah, exactly. Now they fired Gruden, Carroll, Pierce, McDaniels, and I'm missing one more over the last 5 years. I think I read that they've got $50 million on their payroll and fired coaches right now. NFC South is so boring it is. It's really bad. That's why the Raiders will be a crap team forever. And they got the number 1 pick, and they're going to find a way to screw that up. Maybe that makes that job attractive. I'll come coach your team if you let me pick that first pick. With Patullo, he overcoaches it at times. He wants to run 20 to 30-yard pass plays on 2nd and 3, 3rd and 2s, instead of opting to run the ball and move the chains. Overcoaching. Because he's inexperienced. Maybe he's better next year. Raiders are always ass. Patullo calls plays like he's playing Madden on rookie mode. It's not Madden in the NFL. Imagine that huge Las Vegas stadium for such an ass team. Yeah, exactly. I thought I said Antonio Pierce. Pierce, Gruden, McDaniels, Pete Carroll. I'm still missing the 5th. Stop. No politics. Somebody tried to start politics on a short video comment section. I shut that down real fast. Tank basically got 5 yards every time he touched the ball. Why not you even consider it? I don't know. And it's been a constant recurring problem with the Eagles. The lack of sticking to Tank. The lack of using Tank. The lack of sticking to the run when it starts to work. What do we know? Even with Saquon Barkley struggles, the outside run works better than the inside run. You have the worst center in football, who's a Pro Bowler, but the worst center in football. And you run right at him every time. Kevin Patullo is so bad at playing calling, at least we don't have to worry about him getting a head coaching job. That's why I appreciate his mediocrity. Yeah, look, I know there were rumors that Patullo was going to be a coaching candidate. I doubt he will. What gets Kevin Patullo fired? Everyone's in agreement they want him fired. I don't think he will be fired unless we get blown out this week. But what would be the minimum you think the Eagles need to see to keep him? Is it a certain result or is it a certain statistical number? We get to the Super Bowl and losing the Super Bowl. Patullo ain't getting fired no matter what. I think the only way he gets fired is if they get beat on Sunday and the offense fails to put up 20 points. 20 points or less and a loss. Outside of that, he ain't going anywhere. He will be the OC next year. I don't think this fan base could stand another season of Patullo as OC. I think there are 30% increases in cardiac arrest in the region. I mean, yeah. Phil vote, what? Stop. At least you didn't go with the line that will get GTA 6 before. That would be the one. That would be the one. I'm in minority, but I enjoyed last night's Sixers game. Young, fresh, unscouted, well-coached legs, arms by itself. They definitely need Oubre back. I honestly, I was so tired yesterday from travel. I was up at 3:30 a.m. I was asleep last night at 9 o'clock. I watched the first 20, 30 minutes of that game, and I was out last night. I just don't know how they lost to that Nuggets team. You have a 3-game winning streak, and you're going up against a Nuggets team that was missing literally their entire starting lineup. Or at least they were missing 5 guys that played big minutes, and you lost that game. That kind of stunk to me. Honestly, I haven't played GTA since 1. Penn is looking for an OC, and I know an OC in Philadelphia that should be looking for a new job. So send Patullo to the University of Penn. Why would you do that to the University of Penn? Did your nephew say 6'7"? Yeah, I did a whole 6'7" thing on a short, I think. Or maybe it was a post on Twitter. I don't even know if it'll ever happen, GTA 6. Patullo doesn't get fired. Someone's got to offer him a head coaching job for us to be rid of him. Yeah. And maybe because of the lack of, attractive jobs, maybe a team makes a mistake on him because no one wants the job. Hell, Patullo wouldn't get hired at Callahan Auto Parts. That's how bad he is. We play 4 full quarters of offensive football and get more than 21 points in every game left. That's the only way I think. So if we score 20 points a game and win the Super Bowl, but the offense only scores 20 points a game, and we win every game 20-17 or lower, then he gets fired? No, not happening. Sixers are boring? Not to some. Because that shows learning and improvement, which I have not really seen all season. The Sixers are my new fall asleep channel. Sixers have been entertaining. I watched all the Sixers game on vacation. With my nephew, we were going to do a watch party, but we never got around to it. The internet wasn't great at the house we stayed at. But that game the other night, BJ Edgecombe hitting the game winner, then the game against the Knicks, dominating one of the NBA favorites to win the title. I think the Sixers are playing some damn good basketball. I actually think NFL fans like old-fashioned short yardage, pound, run the ball, smash mouth football. I don't know why some coordinators switch the on button to pass-happy mode, because it's a pass-happy league. The league wants more passing, not just teams. The leagues want that as well. The league wants it to be pass-happy. I expect a speed bump for the Flyers today, followed by some of the better hockey we've seen in a while. Yeah, we'll see. I got no plans. Maybe I'll watch some Flyers hockey tonight. Maybe. Yeah, the Nova Knicks. F the Nova Knicks. F Nova. Screw them all. Hate them all. Do we play 4 quarters of offense? That is more the thing. You move the ball and take time off the clock, give defense some breathing room. That helps my opinion of Nepo Bud. Yeah, well. But what makes you think it's going to change? Everybody wants to see this different offense. But the offense is what it is. We are not going to see anything different this week. Maybe they're more successful because the 49ers are banged up on defense massively. But nothing is going to change. The identity of this offense is inconsistency. Nothing's going to change offensively speaking. Villanova basketball is back one off of being back in the top 25. I don't give a rat's ass about Villanova, okay? Screw Villanova. They're not even a Philly school, okay? They're a bunch of rich, stuck-up snobs on the main line. I'm going to get killed by Mark for that. Once Villanova backed the Knicks over the Sixers in the playoffs a couple of years ago, I said, off camera, big middle finger, done with them. I'll never support that program again. Give me another college local team that I should be supporting. I think the smash mouth running style can attract more fans. More hardcore fans, absolutely. But the casual fan, the casual people that just tune in occasionally or watch it in the background, they want offense. They want passing. They want big bombs to wide receivers. Wide receivers have the bigger egos, which attract more fans. Running backs don't have those egos. Knicks got toasted last night by Detroit, so it took some of that starch out of the Sixers win for me. Gotcha, I didn't see that. Mighty Ducks is the most ridiculous moniker in all of sports. When you build a franchise around a movie, right? Right? It's like signature, punch and boxing, Eagles smash mouth, short yards running. Quack. Give me the flying V. It needs to be embraced. It's their strength. I agree. The smash mouth running is it, but is it their strength? With the way the offensive line is played this year? Is it? If Cam Jurgens can't get better or find that gear from last year, doesn't matter. Landon Dickerson's getting healthier. It helps. Lane Johnson being back to full health. We'll see, but that will help. We don't even know for sure if Lane Johnson's going to play on Sunday. That's a big deal. What is today? Today's Tuesday, so we won't get our first practice report till tomorrow. My eyes are going to be locked in on that practice report tomorrow. If Lane Johnson even is limited in participant. Because if he's not, you're not going to see any change. Present company excluded, of course, yeah. Yeah, Win Duck is greater than Mighty Duck. Yeah, absolutely. All big companies like the NFL and movie franchises don't care about the hardcore fans. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm not a hardcore MCU fan or comic book fan, but I'm a comic book fan. And I know a lot of the comic book movies don't follow the source material, right? And a lot of hardcore fans get upset, right? But they do it to make it attractive to the casual fan. Hardcore fans aren't going to get Avengers to $1 billion in ticket sales. The casual fans will, right? It's the same thing about the NFL. Not every league is going to have the same strengths or same style of offense. That's what makes every offense different. You have to suit your offense. And I agree. And they stuck to that strength last year. Obviously, 2,000 plus yards. Saquon Barkley, right? But the thing is, I don't know if the sticking to the smash mouth run game is the strength you make it out to be. Right? The smash mouth offense running the football needs your offensive line to be healthy and in sync. They have not been this year. Yes, it was hard watching on Stream East on that stream, that lagging and whatnot stream site. I couldn't really focus in. I know he didn't play the whole game, Cam Williams. I know he played some of the game. I don't know how he looked. I could not tell you. Your first early pre-show comment about Trot Jr. I see the stat line. I saw him make some plays, but I had it on a TV screen and a cell phone screen because one or the other was always freezing. So it's hard to pay attention to the details on the game. I knew what you meant. Lane's going to play. Dude is tougher than a $2 steak. That's a nice JR reference. If there is no risk of his limb falling off, he'll play. I expect him to play. Of course, Freddie. But we don't know. Us fans expect him to tough it out. But what if his injury was borderline close to being a season-ending injury. Same style of offense. Yeah. But same style, but less effective parts. Brett Toth and Matt Pryor. I think I read that Brett Toth got hurt in the game as well. Matt Pryor sucks. Eagles got to bring in so many new offensive line pieces. Like next year, so many. A major shout out to Trot Jr. He is ahead of John Campbell right now. Really starting to wonder if he was the wrong pick for the 2025 team. Okay, see, I was reading that and I wasn't processing it. In the situation, was it like a wasted pick? Is what you're saying? Should they have gone elsewhere because they had Trot Jr.? See, I have not been impressed before Sunday in Trot Jr. Last year in training camp, I wasn't as high on him. You did it because you made that pick because you didn't know that Nakobe Dean was going to play the way he did. Not because of Trot Jr. Nakobe Dean was the part of that pick that now in hindsight looks like might not have been the right decision. Who was the lineman? How he claimed off waivers from the Rams. He has not seen any action. Honestly, I'm not sure about that one. I wonder if Trot will cause Dean to not be signed. I don't think Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in 1 week 18 game would do that. I think Jihad Campbell, his play will make them not or actually be forced to re-sign him. I don't want to focus on the offseason too much till the season ends. I don't like focusing on the future when the current season's on. But Howie Roseman will have some very tough free agent decisions to make this offseason. Without a doubt. Major, major tough decisions to make. I don't want to see Lane playing 2 series and limp off. If he ain't close to 100%, he shouldn't be out there. We're talking about the 49ers. We're talking about a banged-up 49ers defense. Can you afford to rest Lane Johnson 1 more week if he's not 100%? If he's at like 80, say he's at 88%. He's 88% he's playing, K1. But just say he's at 88%. And 1 more week of rest gets him to 98%. Do you give him that 1 more week? Would this Eagles team be able to beat the 49ers without Lane Johnson 1 more week? Fred Johnson's been solid enough. Does that 1 more week? Can he survive? I saw someone say the Eagles will have a completely different playbook. I mean, are they hiding stuff? No. I don't know about a completely different playbook. Whether the playbook will be more effective or not, or called differently, maybe. But I don't know if we're going to see this totally different offense, Adam, next week. I just don't see that. Campbell can also be slotted into defensive end or blitz package at linebacker. Trout Jr. is not a blitzing linebacker. Yeah, off-season talk. I hate it. But I have a feeling that you're going to see Nolan Smith moved on from in this offseason. Because Jalen Hunt's emergence, Jalen Phillips is going to stay here. And then you can use Jihad Campbell in that outside edge rotation package. Nolan Smith is up for an extension. I don't think they're going to give it to him. So maybe they try to move him. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Trot is way better on run defense defender than Campbell. Way better instincts. Campbell is way too tentative. He's also a rookie. But I get it. He hasn't lived up to the hype of this. Like, John Campbell hasn't lived up to the hype of, oh, my God, he fell all the way to us. Wow. The Eagles lucked out. Super Bowl is in L.A. It would be a perfect dress rehearsal for the Olympics in 28. It's more profitable to have the Rams in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to get to the Super Bowl in the NFC. I think the Eagles have a chance. I think the Rams have a chance. Seattle, I don't think they have a chance, but that defense is elite. If we're gonna make the Super Bowl on the backs of our defense, why can't Seattle? And the Bears, I mean, I don't trust Caleb Williams. But what they did this year is what they did. I think it's wide open. In the AFC, it's even more wide open. Good morning, Little G. Welcome back. Trot is also more playing time than Campbell at this point. Trot has just made himself more valuable every play he gets. Yeah, and Trot needed more development last year. Campbell needs more development this year. Campbell is a terrible blitzer. He chops his feet too much instead of just going. He may eventually get there, but he's not a quality blitzer right now. With Lane back, we get the jumbo package back. That is true. And we were very effective running that jumbo package when Lane was still here. Now, if Lane can go, I know if he can go, he's going. I absolutely agree. I think that was more a hypothetical situation there. You got to have all your soldiers on the field Sunday playing on one leg or not. It's do or die. Yeah, I mean, that's always the way it is in the playoffs, right? It's always do or die. I hope we pay Phillips. He's kind of this year's Bond. Good pickup when we need it. I think Howie will do everything in his power to keep Jalen Phillips, because also keeping Jalen Phillips not only keeps the defense better, keeps Phillips here, it keeps Vic Fangio happy as well. Warner is out for sure. I am not sure if both. That's the thing. It's like we're talking about the 49ers team offensively, defensively. So I don't know if you or somebody else brought Trent Williams being back. We don't know. The only thing we know is Warner is out. We don't know anything else yet for sure. I say let him rest. 49ers don't really have a pass rush. What's up, Kevin? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Look, in theory, it sounds interesting. Maybe that works. If he's 85%, he's going to play. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong decision, but he's 85%, he's going to play. He's Lane Johnson. If he's 75%, he's going to play. And the Eagles are going to let him play because they're going to give him that option. Now, I do believe very firmly in taking that away from the player sometimes, protecting the player. But, yeah, Trotter comes from a football family, but he's not as good as an athlete as Campbell. I just read something. Doesn't Trot Jr. have another brother, another little Trotter that just signed a big or agreed to go to a big college football program, I think. Campbell's tackles are almost all 5 to 9 yards downfield. Trot gets tackles for losses. That is true. That is true. Ringo must have a FanDuel bet on Sunday. That was so bad. Dude, one thing I learned from that Eagles game, okay? Our backups suck. Keely Ringo, Jacorian Bennett, Sidney Brown, Braden Johnson, or whoever that guy was. I know he got hurt. The backup depth on this team, Matt Pryor, Brett Toth. Our depth stinks. Pretty bad. What a better career. Lane Johnson. Oh, that's like saying, that's like asking who's better, the greatest of all time or the second greatest of all time. Arguably, they're two of the greatest tackles in the history of the game, mister. I guess Trent Williams. Didn't Trent Williams have some attitude issues? Didn't he cause some problems on some teams in his career? If I'm accurate in thinking Trent Williams, and maybe I'm thinking of a different elite offensive lineman, you had Trent Williams with his early career immaturity issues and Lane Johnson's early career drug issues. That's a tough one. That's such a tough call. Lane could have gone in the Buffalo game. They just finally did what they should have done. Yeah, that's true. Ringo should never be a quarterback in the NFL as a special team gunner. He's great. Yeah, absolutely. Campbell is definitely a way better athlete. There's no question about that. The guy could probably step in at wide receiver if you had him. Yeah, probably. Bennett is more handsy than a teenage boy at a school dance. I went to Catholic school. We had to stand like this with our arms spread apart dancing. The McKee didn't look. Yeah, where are the McKeesters this week? What are the McKeesters saying? Lane does have 2 Super Bowl rings. Absolutely agree with you. I want to say Lane Johnson, but I don't want to sound like a homer, mister. That's why I'm trying to think about it a little bit. Am I wrong in saying that he had some personality issues, Trent Williams, early in his career? You don't draft a guy in the 3rd round to be a gunner. Keely is embarrassingly bad. Yeah, Keely Ringo will be gone. I would be, again, we keep getting stuck in off-season conversations. Despite the march to the Super Bowl just beginning. But I would be shocked if Keely Ringo and Sidney Brown are on this roster next year. Not one or the other, both. Guys, finally caught it. It only took 55 and a half minutes, finally caught up in the conversation and the chat room. Guys, we're talking Eagles, playoffs beginning. Nick Sirianni made the right call, in my opinion. The poll question, in hindsight, are you still glad Nick Sirianni rested the starters? Yes or no? Yes is actually winning 71% of the vote, which I'm shocked. I thought I would be in the minority there, but I'm glad you're all on the same page with me. But guys, this is Trending in the AM, back to our regular scheduled program, live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Like this video, subscribe, share this out, even if you're watching on replay. Those clicks count. I respond to all replay comments as well. Please do that. Click those buttons. It's very, very important to do that. Helps this channel. Today, 9:55, the march to 1,000 is on. So give me what you got on all that. But we're also going to throw the second half of this show today, the Sixers, into the conversation. Why did they lose last night? How did they lose? But overall, the Sixers are trending up. Are you gaining any confidence? I got a text from my buddy Brian. Why do the Sixers pull on his heartstrings? He's like I always say, once I thought I was out, they pull me back in. That's how I feel about the Sixers. The Phillies added Don Mattingly, but still, JT Realmuto remains unsigned. Bo Bichette is slightly loosely linked. And, of course, we didn't sign any of the Japanese stars that came over to MLB. So that's all on the table still as well. Campbell was leading defensive rookie of the year before he was benched for Dean. He was. That's a very good point, Kevin. Expecting McKee to excel in the game was like asking your apprentice to finish building the porch with a bunch of spare tools. Not according to the McKeesters. Come on, Nooms. You know the McKeesters. You know the McKeesters were all ready for McKee to dominate. They had the tweets pre-typed up, ready to put out there. The radio stations had the polls. Do we have a quarterback controversy? All ready to go. Hoping that Tanner McKee would go off on Sunday. They ought to go to work and delete all that stuff. Not a McKeester, but what happened to him was a mixture of O-line dying and Patullo crap play calling. No, McKee is the savior. And he had issues in Washington. I was pretty sure, but I wasn't positive about that, okay? I don't know. I don't even remember what the issues were. By what metric? What are we talking about? Maybe Sam Howell should have started instead of McKee. Yeah, exactly. We would have won the 3. We would have gotten the 2 seat if Sam Howell started over Tanner McKee, right? Lane is an illegal steroid smuggler. Lane has the steroid drug issue, okay? Trent Williams has the issues in Washington. On the field, they're 2 of the greatest of all time. I was expecting someone to say that. Thank you. Yeah. No sign of pump man because yeah, exactly. There's no argument to be made, right? But yes, the McKeesters will probably blame Kevin Patullo or the offensive line. McKee didn't help his trade value for this offseason very much. But I don't want to make this about that. I don't want to talk about the McKeesters. I don't want to talk about Tanner McKee and his struggles or good or bad. I don't want to think about all that. Because I'm focused on the present. I'm focused on the now. I'm focused on this Eagles team. I'm focused on the defense and why the defense can't carry us while resting our starters were the right thing. It's all about the defense. Trent, okay, So that's right. I was envisioning a fight in my head, but I couldn't remember if it was Trent Williams or not. I just remember a picture of a really big offensive lineman hitting a smaller cornerback or a secondary guy. This Mattingly hiring is such a red herring. We don't need more legacy loser energy from a Yankee that never won anything there, L.A. or Florida. At first, I thought the Mattingly hire that was going to happen, which finally did happen, was going to be a way for the Eagles to ease Rob Thompson out of the organization. But listen to Rob Thompson and Don Mattingly talk about the hiring. They plan on being here for a while together. That Rob Thompson wanted to work with Don Mattingly. That Don Mattingly wanted to work under Rob Thompson. That they have this relationship that they wanted to build upon. And that he wanted him in the dugout with him, making those decisions, right? There's a portion of Phillies fans that think the Don Mattingly signing is going to lure Bo Bichette here. That's not going to happen either. Yeah, the Tanner McKee interception was definitely Jalen Hurts' fault. No doubt about it. Everything's always Jalen Hurts' fault, right? It's never anybody else's fault. It's just always Tanner McKee or Jalen Hurts. He's always the one to blame. Who cares? I didn't even know Hunter Renfrow was in the NFL right now. Who knew, right? Yeah, they will be the Tim Hortons coffee buddies too. There you go. I like that. Yeah, breaking news: Hunter Renfrow's been waived or cut. Yay! Woohoo! That McKee interception in the end zone was so amateur hour. I'm sorry, but that was the most basic of basic coverage. There wasn't even any. Yeah, I didn't even know. I think one of my screens froze, so I didn't see the interception live. But I got messages from Jim and Adam and other people saying that Darius Cooper caused an interception. Then I went back and replayed, and I'm like, oh, they're being sarcastic. Does Saquon look at Sirianni a little different after letting Smith play to get his 1,000-yard season and not letting Saquon break the all-time record? Look, so I was expecting this to come up at some point, right? Devontae Smith got the chance to get his record or his numbers. Saquon didn't, right? And my answer to that is that Nick Sirianni talked to Saquon and talked to the team constantly about these things. Saquon multiple times put team and rest as a more important factor, okay? Team in the individual game record, opportunity, and rest over his stats. Devontae Smith wanted that record, and I'm sure Nick Sirianni gave him the option. He's like, look, I'll put you out there for the first quarter. If you don't get it, we're pulling you. But we'll try if that's what you want. He took one big hit on one of those catches. I don't think it was Sirianni playing favorites. I don't think it was Sirianni changing his tune. I don't think Saquon cares. Now, if Devontae Smith gets hurt there, I would have destroyed Nick Sirianni for allowing it. I don't think it has any worry with Saquon at all, Nick Sirianni, in this situation. That is my opinion on it. If that's what he wanted, he allowed it. And maybe there was a bonus in his contract as well. Maybe there was some kind of bonus structure, didn't get to 1,000 yards. So many people have so much to play for in week 18 of the NFL season for those bonuses. It's always crazy when you think about it. That last pick was designed to avoid a quarterback controversy, next level strategy. Is that what it was? Tanner McKee was told to throw the interception. Gotcha. It's different. Saquon needed 100 rushing yards to break it. Smitty needed 40-something yards. Yeah, there's a big difference in yardage. Absolutely. There's a huge difference there. But also, you look back throughout the season, Saquon, in I think, what was it, the Rams game, he could have set the individual game record. He's like, no, let the young guys cook. Saquon wanted the rest. Saquon wanted the rest this week. maybe you could chalk it up to a lack of reps, but the McKee interception was just, there's no defense of that, Nice to get the 68th pick in next year's draft. I saw that. I saw Anthony DeBona tweet that out yesterday, Rick. I knew we had extra picks and all coming in this year, but I totally forgot that the 68th pick is the Jets pick for the Reddick trade. I mean, it just totally slipped my mind. Hassan Reddick and the Jets pick, we get their pick 68, so it's the top of the third round. It's a premium pick, right? Premium pick. Hassan Reddick, since we traded him away, 3.5 sacks with 2 years. Only one this year. But it's a great thing right there. Speaking of interceptions, pretty sure Jalen Hurts had 4 in one game. Matter of fact, he turned over the ball twice in one play. I see. It didn't take long. Good morning and Happy New Year to the great Mr. Pumpman. I guess you didn't set any New Year's resolutions on Jalen Hurts' hate this year, right? Packers-Bears being a divisional matchup is a big factor. I think the Packers' playoff experience, coaching, and player-wise will be the reason the Packers win. Is Jordan Love playing? That's the question. Again, I've been offline for the last year, so I don't know. That really is good value for system malcontent. Yeah. Look, Pop Man, I expected you to come in and blame Kevin Patullo for your Tanner McKee failures, right? That's what I expected. I was hoping that's the angle you took. Okay. Myles Garrett's sack record. I know Michael Strahan's complaining. Well, he did it one extra game. I was going to complain that Joe Burrow laid down just like Brett Favre to give him that sack record. Fugazi. Whatever. It is what it is. Good for Myles Garrett getting the record. I mean, laying down for the last one or not, I mean, it's still a hell of a season on a bad team. The fact that he was probably triple teamed every play and still got the record, I mean, it just speaks volumes of how elite Myles Garrett is, one of the greats of all time. Just a shame he's stuck in Cleveland. Anyone fearing Bryce Huff's shoulder chip? Oh, my God. Lane Johnson's going to get demolished by that, right? Only Jalenites blame others. I don't blame anybody. Will cocoa leaves be legal in the USA after Trump arrests the Colombian? Did Pumpman just give Hurts a compliment? Can we check? Did he? Was there a compliment mixed in there that I missed? Oh, he said he's historical. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I actually think the emotions will get to Huff early on in this game. The fans are going to boo him loud. Yeah, we're going to heckle him. We're going to heckle the hell out of him. For sure. That will definitely be a factor. I mean, we have to have somebody to heckle, right? Got to have somebody to heckle, right? The powder is already legal in the White House bathroom. Oh man, I should pre-read some of these comments. Some fans are actually accountable, unlike the community who reads from the book of Hurts. Yeah, I mean, that's just the book. McKee had a solid first half. Remember, he was playing with second, third, and fourth stringers. Not going to take much evaluation from that. His second half was the same as Hurts' second half the prior week. Look, I'll give you that. The second half, the play calling was atrocious, Rick. It was. But the McKeesters wouldn't admit that last year his great game against the Giants wasn't, just second stringers and third stringers and stuff. But whatever. I said earlier, Rick, I don't want to make this. I know we're making some McKee jokes and Hurts and McKee jokes here. I don't want to make it about it. He's not going to be on the Eagles roster next year. He's just not. It says Jordan Love is starting in the playoffs. He cleared concussion protocol. Gotcha. Well, that's a big deal then. Okay. So if I know that Jordan Love is playing that for sure, then yes, I lean towards the Packers in that game because of experience. Which then changes everything for the Eagles, for sure. They rested their starters last year. Okay? Didn't they? Second half was not on McKee, the same as Hurts. It's handicapped by Nepo. Here we go. Full hour and 10 minutes, and we're bringing it full circle. Back to the Kevin Patullo conversation. How far or how much offensive output do we need to see? Well, not us. The coaches and the ownership need to see that Kevin Patullo doesn't lose his job. I mean, I know Hurts rested. I know Saquon rested. I'm pretty sure everybody else rested too. Maybe. I don't know. That was last year. McKee showed he could play with these players in the first half. Look, I'm not trash talking McKee. McKee's a great young quarterback. He's going to be starting in the NFL next year. He will get us a great draft pick for the draft this offseason. Hell, I'm calling the Raiders right now. Yo, there's no good draft picks in this thing. Take our guy for the number 1 pick. Ross Tucker is a very inaccurate commentator. See, I wanted to watch it and listen to it. I couldn't really listen to him. I love Ross Tucker, the Eagles preseason announcer. But I've heard a lot of people crush his commentating on Sunday. But I couldn't really pay close attention to that. Won't be on the roster as we'll probably get a late first-round pick. Absolutely agree. Here's the thing. I would love a first-round pick for him. I don't know if you're going to get it, right? But here's something. The Raiders had the worst record. They got the number 1 pick, right? If the Raiders call you and offer you the first pick of the second round for Tanner McKee, maybe they throw in a 5th-round pick too. If they go out, they got the first pick in the draft, and they draft the best offensive tackle in the draft, whoever's the new Raiders coach. You go get him the best offensive tackle in the draft, and then go get McKee. A, would that be good for the Raiders to do that? But B, would you take the 33rd pick in the draft for Tanner McKee? I absolutely would take the 33rd pick in the NFL draft for Tanner McKee. Without a doubt. McKee missed Granson wide open, though. He had to throw the ball in the field of play on 4th down to give Dots a chance. What was with some of the 4th down calls, too? I mean, there were a couple times we went for it on 4th down that I just didn't understand why. McKee also didn't run for that 1-yard first down. Exactly. Who is smoking crack to give up a second round for him? Might get like a 5th at best. There's a lot of people that believe in Tanner McKee. I am not one of them. Okay? There's a lot of people that believe in Tanner McKee. And the quarterback class this year is not elite. Okay? It's a quarterback-driven league. You got 6 teams searching for new coaches. I believe all 6 of them are looking for a quarterback as well, maybe. Well, not the Giants. Teams always overpay for quarterbacks, okay? There's a lot of hype and a lot of love. There were rumors that he was going to fetch a second or third rounder last year. I'm just saying. Ross Tucker is the John Daly of commentators I love. Ross Tucker is a great follow for his beer advice on Twitter. They were just adding the powder to Coca-Cola. Oh, is that what it is? Take it. First pick in the second round. I would do it like that. Absolutely. McKee gets more excuses than other Super Bowl MVPs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly agree with you on this, Kevin. I agree. McKee light years better than any quarterback. I'm assuming that because that's what I've read. I don't follow college football, but I know this year's quarterback class, you might only see 2 quarterbacks get drafted in the first round. And I doubt that a first pick is a quarterback. I'm late this morning. I want first day back from vacation, had a long travel day. I went to bed super early last night. I got 10 straight hours of sleep last night. I needed like 1 or 2 more. I thought about sleeping in, changing the show to 10 today, but here I am for you guys. He ain't a second-round pick yet. He has to actually win a game with first stringers with something on the line. I'm just throwing it out there to the McKeesters. Definitely not a closet McKeester at all. We go to the playoffs and we're talking. Exactly. Marshawn, I'm ready to talk about what you like to talk about. How we're going to line that shit up for the next 4 or 5 weeks and knock it down. Right? Anybody that gave a second-round pick for him does not deserve. Hey, look. Yet somehow Joe Schoen still is an NFL GM. A lot of quarterback or coaches and GMs lose their jobs because of their rash decisions on quarterbacks and coaches. I mean, just look at some of the quarterbacks that have gone in the top 10 of picks just in the last couple of years. Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, to name a few. Trey Lance. E.J. Manuel was a first-round draft pick as a quarterback. That's the thing. You got to think of it that way. Hurts has not seen a ton of wide-open receivers this year. Check on the tape. That's true. That's true. It doesn't mess up our steal if the Raiders are that. Yeah, exactly. Mendoza's solid prospect, but ain't better. I don't know if McKee's seasoned, so to speak. Teams always reach for quarterbacks. Exactly. That's just the name of the game in the NFL, right? But I'm not worried about it. The offseason will work itself out in the offseason. Our offseason isn't going to start for another 5-6 weeks. So why are we worried about that? Kevin Cobb went for, and Kevin Cobb, he didn't get his first concussion with the Cardinals. He got his first concussion with the Eagles, right? He already shown inconsistent play with the Eagles. And we got a second-round pick for him. Come on, guys. Like, subscribe, share. Pump that up. Let's go. Same here. I slept like a baby. I slept from 11 to 9. My kid didn't get up. I went to bed at 9. I think I turned the Sixers game off at like 9:15, 9:20. Out like a light. Alarm went off at 7 a.m. And I would have loved 1 or 2 more hours. I feel great this morning. But 1 or 2 more hours, I would have felt phenomenal. Remember when Myles Garrett ripped the quarterback's helmet off? I've cracked him upside the head with it. If you or I did that, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I do remember that. I totally forgot about that. I was pounding the table for McKee when it was going bad. When things are going well, why ask for a quarterback? No Eagles fan wants a quarterback change, Marshawn. None. Whether the offense looks great or not, Jalen Hurts is this team's best path forward for the long haul and this year. Yeah, Andy Reid did love Kevin Cobb. He did. If Hurts tore an ACL in the playoffs and McKee came in and won the Super Bowl, what would happen? The same thing that happened with Nick Foles. He'd get benched again and move on to another team to start. This is Jalen Hurts' team. Now, if he tore an ACL in the playoffs, he probably wouldn't be back for next year, at least very early in the year. So you'd probably have to keep McKee for that reason. But you talk about Tanner McKee so much in such an unnecessarily negative way, okay? And you don't even realize it. Because your constant hype for McKee taking over always relies on devastating injuries for Jalen Hurts. And you're going to say, I don't ever root for an injury. Well, you unknowingly root for a Jalen Hurts injury by talking like this. DRC in a second for Cobb is Venezuela. Oh, man. Great point. Let's focus on the Niners. Let's focus on the present. Let's focus now. Everybody always wants to talk offseason. While we're in the playoffs right now, where we are one of the teams that should come out of the NFC. Why are we focused on that? Why are we talking about the offseason decision of the Eagles? I saw that on one of the radio stations in Philly yesterday talking about, Eagles salary cap in 2026. And now we're like 18th or 19th in the league in it. Who cares about the salary cap in the offseason? The playoffs are here. We're talking playoffs. Patullo can't call plays that get our wide receiver open when they have been open is because they aren't talented like that. It's true. Line that shit up, Marshawn, and knock it down. Did the unemployed guy coming off a week's vacation do us a favor by not getting 2 more hours of sleep after 10 hours? Thanks. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm unemployed still, okay? It won't last much longer. But I am unemployed. How are we feeling about the Niners game? I feel great about the Niners game, Marshawn. I am not scared of the Niners. The way they played the last couple of weeks. The defense is ravaged with injuries. This is an actual defense that I think the Eagles could put up 24, 27 points against. And we know our defense isn't going to give up more than 20 points. I don't know the score yet. I don't have a prediction yet, Marshawn. But this is shaping up like a 27-17 type game. 27-14 type game for the Eagles. Without a doubt. Like that the Flyers re-signed. Yeah, I didn't see that yesterday. Didn't even notice that. Cobb got his bell rung in the 2010 Packers game in Kelly Green. Good call. That's right. I thought he had one. I know he had a lot of concussion problems with the Cardinals when he went there. But with the Philadelphia Eagles, I knew he had at least one. If Phil went to prison, he would be the personal cook for the mob bosses in the joint. Slice that garlic real thin so it just melts in the pan. Cobb actually won a game in 2009 with something on the line. That's true. Good point. The only people calling for the quarterback change are the toxic radio personalities that need the clicks. Exactly. I read an interesting interview. I don't even remember who it was. It was a guy that worked under Spike Eskin, Doc, in New York when Spike Eskin ran that big channel up in New York. And he basically did the interview admitting, yes, when you're in a big market, you are told you have to say some country. You don't even believe half the things you say. You start with your first 15 seconds, a bold claim that your co-host has to disagree with you on it, and then you let the show go from there. They want that. They admitted it. That's the way you do your game. That's how you get clicks. That's how you get ratings. That's how you get cherry bombs on the screen. But I won't do it. Definitely no quarterback change anytime soon. Yeah, I mean, it ain't happening. Always thinking about it. Purdy is going to be running for his life. Eagles secondary. Yeah, absolutely agree. I am not worried. Our defense is going to shut that offense down. You're not. Nobody ever roots for injury, but you subtly do without knowing it. By your thought process on how to get McKee to be the starter, you unknowingly are rooting for an injury. I think Cobb won 3 games, if I remember. I don't even remember. Is your brother ready for Eagle? I don't know. I haven't talked to him. My sister, we're having a big adults-only dinner for my sister's birthday. We celebrated it in Florida. Her birthday was on Sunday this past week. But big adults, siblings, birthday party. We're all going to a fancy restaurant for on Saturday night. So me and my brother will be sitting side by side, and I'll be arguing with him about it on Saturday night. Rick just put an Hurts ACL out there in the universe. He's done it before, Doug. It's like the 15th time this year he's done it. 76ers have been playing well as of late, but definitely shit the bed in yesterday's game. They got to win that. So I put out a tweet yesterday, Rick, sharing the Nuggets injury report. And I put in the tweet, this is an obvious, easy win for the Sixers, but we know how that works out when that's the case. So I knew that there was a chance that they were going to lose that game. You let your foot off the pedal a little bit. If we don't beat the 49ers, all hell would break loose. Yeah, it would. But back to the Sixers game, I mean, the Sixers are trending up. I watched multiple games on vacation in the Sixers team, and I was just so impressed. So impressed with the maturity of VJ Edgecombe. Joel Embiid even looks a little bit better. Paul George, defensively speaking, playing great. Look, I told everybody about the JT. JT's got a 2-year deal on the table. He wants 3 years. It's the Dallas Goedert situation. Go test free agency. The deal will stay there. You want it, come back and get it. If not, whatever. Now, they are going to have to move on soon. We are, 5 weeks till pitchers and catchers report. Maybe there's a slight chance that Bo Bichette signs, but I don't know. Randall Grichuk or whatever, he's rumored to be coming to the Eagles or the Phillies now. Look, it sucks, but we got to understand that this Phillies team is what they are. They're tapped out, financially speaking. Eagles win by 10, maybe more than that, honestly. I am not taking a part-time job as a Patullo again. Not a chance in hell. Kevin Patullo is Christopher in The Sopranos. He's only made because he's Camarlo's nephew. Yes, absolutely. I love that, mister. Kevin Patullo is the Christopher Moltisanti of the Eagles. Absolutely. He was a made guy because of name, and that was it. Niners could be a get-right game for the offense, build momentum. I could see that. 100% see that, Kevin. 100% see that. If you were sweating the 49ers for a few weeks there, I was sweating them because of Christian McCaffrey. The defense of the Eagles have improved, and I've seen more 49ers games lately to see that CMC's just not having a great season. Christopher's character had no arc. I was a very, like, Christopher Moltisanti was a change the channel. I mean, I didn't, but change the channel type character. Couldn't stand him. I wish they killed him all sooner. I dropped a little nugget. Cowboys DC got fired out, did he? Cool. What game did Cobb win in 2009 that meant something against the Falcons when Vic got hurt? I got him. That's so long ago. Another moves, Bucks did nothing. Damn, perfect analysis. It really is. Which non-division rivalry is bigger for the Birds, Chiefs or 49ers? Right now, the 49ers, because we're seeing them in 5 days on Sunday night. But overall, big picture, probably the Chiefs because of the Super Bowl recency bias there. And because of Andy Reid being on there. Right now, I'd have to say the 49ers or the Chiefs, but 49ers are close. The Sixers win. It feels they were losing in the game already at that point. Are you saying Gannon is getting hired by Dallas? Interesting. I don't know. I hate the NBA. Imagine paying all that money, going to a game, and they sit out like 30% of the game. I agree. I haven't been to a Sixers game. The Kobe Bryant tribute game, actually, was the last Sixers game I went to after he passed away. So that was what? No, so I went to the Kobe tribute game and the Martin Luther King game, and the Martin Luther King Day game that year. Whichever one was later, that's the last game I went to. So February 2020, last time I went to a Sixers game. Or March of 2020, February 2020, last time I saw a Sixers game. I'm so curious what the Sixers will look like when Kelly Oubre comes back. Like, what does it do to the rotation? I guess Dominic Barlow, you're running out of games for him on his two-way contract. Maybe you send him back to the G League. He's kind of struggled his last 3 or 4 games. Barlow. I love Barlow's energy, but you can't bench Paul George. You can't bench VJ Edgecombe. So I guess Barlow goes to the G League, and you have a starting rotation of Maxey, Edgecombe, Oubre, Paul George, and Joel Embiid. And I'm not even positive when Oubre is going to be back, but I'm very, very interested to see this team at full health. They're already pretty close to full health, and seeing Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid on the court more and more together, I'm gaining more confidence. Now, McCain's another guy that might have to go to the G League. It was a scheduled loss, Glenn Rivers quote. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm just putting that out there for convo purposes. Gotcha. Great game yesterday between Montana State and Arizona State for the FCS championship. Who knew? I didn't. Who knew? Need that one more guy that can navigate screens. Yeah. Had a lot of trade conversations with my nephew this past weekend. A week on vacation. He loves talking NBA trades. Trying to explain to him there's more to just like, you can't just trade Giannis for this or that. And I brought up the conversation about trading Kelly Oubre, honestly, but also trading Jarrett McCain to sweeten the pot right now because he's an extra on this team. And would you do it? But they do need one more guy that can navigate a screen. Bo would make feel better about the Phillies. But if you trade for Bo Bichette, he's your third baseman. That means you trade out Bohm, most likely. Will they? So you're trading out Bo. So if you go get Bo Bichette, is Bo Bichette on this Phillies team better than having Alec Bohm and JT Realmuto? Because if you trade Bo Bichette, you're taking the contract off the table for JT Realmuto, financially speaking. I don't care about trading Alec Bohm. Are you going to be okay with Marchand and Stubbs rotating as your catcher next year if you go get Bo Bichette? To me, I honestly probably would be okay with that. I heard Ben Simmons trying to come back to the NBA. Just identifies. I asked my brother, my nephew on vacation, would you want Ben Simmons back? He's like, I'm like, what? He's 10 years old. Knows more about basketball than me. Okay? No doubt. I asked him. I said, would you What do we need right now? He's like, oh, we need more rebounding, better defense, guy that, set screens. I'm like, well, that's Ben Simmons. And he just like, no, you can't do that. He got so upset about that. Agree. The Mattingly thing, a sign. I don't know if the Mattingly thing is a sign. You got to remember one thing. There's rumors right now going around that the Eagles or the Sixers are in on Bo Bichette. The thing is, Dave Dombrowski works in silence. You never hear of the Phillies deals rumored. So that tells me maybe he's not really rumored, that's Bo Bichette's camp leaking that information. Dave Dombrowski never lets information like that leak. So I don't think Bo Bichette comes to the Phillies. Love it, sure. Who wouldn't? But I don't think it happens. The first time he gets an elbow to the gut or face, pull one out again, yeah. Thought Drummond or 5 or 10 last night, yeah. My nephew did a fan. If you guys didn't do it, you should go back and look. On vacation, my nephew Connor and I did do one podcast. It was like at 11. I think it was on Wednesday. It was his birthday, his 10th birthday. So yeah, it was on New Year's Eve. So make sure you go check it out. Show him some love. The dude knows how to talk on a mic already at the age of 10. He doesn't know how to keep the mic close, but outside of that 10-year-old kid ran circles. I mean, he pulled out the Rockies catcher out of thin air. The guy knows basketball, baseball, football. I think Nooms made one Flyers comment. He's like, no, tell him no more Flyers talk. The Phillies like an 88, 93 win team and then do nothing. It's going to be the same right now. It's going to be the same this year. Okay? Bo Bichette becomes a Philly Bubba Fett's with the mask. It's just not going to happen, Rick. And I get the reference. I'm not a Star Wars guy. I get it. Sure, it'd be cool. It'd be like the Padilla Flotilla and all the other things. I get it. But I think it's a long shot that Bo Bichette comes to the Phillies. Phillies just need to go all in and stop being a playoff team. See, the thing is, they're backed into a corner. Make a huge trade. What's the huge trade? The change that was needed was a new manager. The change that was needed was to not go get Kyle Schwarber. The change that was needed was to make drastic change to the fundamental philosophies of this team. And they didn't do it. I can imagine it too. And it'd be cool, I guess. You heard your first Phil's nephew is getting he wants his own show. And if his dad will commit to it, absolutely, he can have his own show. He'll be starring on WIP if it's still around in 20 years. All-Star Weekend this year in Philly. It's awesome. Phillies World Series. Oh, here we go with this again. Oh, my God. Rick, what is going on, man? No. Anyway, let's see here. We're in overtime here. Let's see the numbers here. I've got 21 likes on this video, new subscribers, 27 votes on the poll question, but only 21 likes. The poll question, in hindsight, are you still glad Nick Sirianni rested his starters? Yes, 74%. No, 26%. That's where we're at here as we get close to the end of the show today. I'm not in a rush to get done, but, we are past the 90-minute mark, so you've gotten a couple minutes of overtime. No short-making material right now, so I got to cut this show up into shorts myself. And I got about a bunch of time marks here. But what's on tap this week? Obviously, I'm going to try to keep the focus on the Eagles 49ers and not the offseason a little bit better tomorrow. 20 years, maybe GTA 7 will come out by then. Will GTA 6 come out by then? Here, I'm not a video gamer, okay, anymore. Was when I was younger, but not anymore. I saw the most hilarious video, and you just don't know what's AI generated or not. Someone had an AI generated video with Clark Kent from Smallville running in the streets of GTA. Was that real, or was that just a fan edit? I thought that was really cool. I was a big Smallville fan back in the day. What is Jurgens' injury anyway? Is Jurgens injured? Is he just bad? Has he played at 75, 80% this year because of last year's injury not fully healing? I don't know, Nooms. Cam Jurgens is a huge, to me, yes, we're obviously concerned with Kevin Patullo's play calling. But how much has Juergens hurt this offense and hurt what Kevin Patullo can do, right? You can make an argument. If we had a left guard backup option, you can make an argument that Landon Dickerson be the starting center. You can make an argument that the Eagles would be better off with Brett Toss starting at center than Cam Juergens in the playoffs. That's how bad Cam Juergens has been. But they're going to roll with it. I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Cam Juergens situation. And if it comes out that he wasn't injured, or not injured much, can you make an argument that the Eagles have a problem moving on next year in center? I don't know. Anyway, with that being said, obviously I got to wrap this baby up here today. I got to get this one, cut up for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another show. There'll be another Eagles check down tonight. Might drop a Phillies hit and run. Might drop a Sixers full court press too as well. Got lots of things going on. Fairway to Heaven season 6 starts Tuesday next week at 6 p.m. Golf is back next week, baby. Super excited for that. I'll be on my man Mitch Bernstein's show on Wednesday night at 7:40. I'll share that out tomorrow. How dare you, Elephant? I'm back to the regularly scheduled program this week, all right? Back to regularly scheduled program. So save all your thoughts on today for tomorrow, or comment under all the shorts I post up later today. But I got to wrap this baby up. Golf is back, Steve. I'm so hyped. So hyped. So hyped. Anyway, with that being said, time to wrap this baby up for the day. Everybody have a great day. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, share. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers this week. Probably won't happen, but we're going to give it our best effort. Everybody have a great day. It feels good to be back with y'all. Go Birds. Bubbles up.